Stars ignite and collapse within it without altering its balance. Your thoughts, emotions, and experiences move within it just as gently. Nothing you feel is too much for this space. Nothing you have been is unwelcome here. You are not required to resolve your life from this place. Problems lose density when observed from infinity. Many dissolve without solution because they were sustained by identification rather than necessity. Clarity replaces complexity not by effort, but by perspective. Notice how the need to understand fades further now. Understanding is a bridge. You are resting on the other side. Here, knowing is immediate, not verbal, not conceptual. It arrives as quiet certainty without content. This is why ancient wisdom, tradition spoke in paradox and silence. Language collapses under infinity. Meaning does not. Meaning becomes embodied rather than spoken. You feel truth rather than articulated. The infinite field is not something you enter temporarily. It is what remains when distraction falls away. You have always been here. Attention wandered. Awareness did not. As this realization stabilizes, you may feel a gentle sense of gratitude without object, gratitude without cause. This is coherence recognizing itself. This is consciousness enjoying alignment. There is nothing mystical required to sustain this state. No ritual, no belief, no effort. Only honesty, only presence, only the willingness to not interfere. The more you allow this state, the more it integrates into ordinary moments. Walking becomes meditation, listening becomes communion, silence becomes companion rather than absence. You may notice that fear struggles to exist here. Fear requires a future to threaten and a past to justify. In infinity, both soften. Fear may arise briefly, but it cannot root itself. It passes like a shadow without substance. You are not becoming detached from life. You are becoming intimate with it at a level beyond drama. Events still occur, choices still matter, but they unfold within spaciousness rather than tension. The infinite field does not ask you to abandon humanity. It asks you to inhabit it fully without forgetting your vastness. You are both finite and infinite simultaneously without contradiction. As this hour continues, let the words slow further. Let the pauses lengthen. Let awareness do the listening. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to remember later. What integrates now does not need recall. If sleep arrives, let it come. If alertness remains, let it remain. Both are expressions of the same intelligence. Consciousness does not diminish in rest. It deepens. You are not tuning out. You are tuning in beyond frequency, beyond signal, beyond noise, into the silent architecture of existence itself. The infinite field does not end when this transmission ends. It does not begin when you listen. It simply is. And you are not separate from it. You never were. Remain as long as you like. There is no conclusion required, no awakening to complete, no destination to reach, only presence unfolding within presence. And in this unfolding, everything aligns, quietly, precisely, inevitably, without force, without effort, without end. As you remain seated within this center of gravity, the sense of effort fades almost completely. There is nothing left to stabilize, nothing left to correct. Awareness has found its natural posture. This posture is not rigid, it is dignified ease. Like a mountain that does not strain to stand, yet remains unmoved by passing weather. Quantum majesty deepens here, not by adding anything, but by subtracting interference. What remains is essence, presence without commentary, authority without command, stillness without withdrawal. You may notice that even the desire to evolve has softened, not because growth has stopped, but because it no longer needs to be chased. Growth unfolds as a byproduct of coherence. When alignment is complete, evolution becomes automatic. In this state, the future no longer feels like a destination, it feels like a continuation. There is no urgency to arrive because nothing essential is missing now. The present moment is sufficient. From sufficiency, creation flows cleanly. The quantum field recognizes this sufficiency immediately. When lack disappears from the signal, distortion ends. Reality responds with efficiency rather than excess. You receive exactly what matches the frequency you sustain, without noise, without delay, without confusion. Majesty refines perception. You begin to sense when something is complete before it visibly ends. You feel when a cycle is finished, even if the world has not caught up. This allows graceful exits rather than forced endings. Silence replaces explanation. You may feel less inclined to narrate your life internally. Stories quiet down. Inner dialogue thins. What remains is situational awareness without judgment. You see what is. You respond if necessary. You rest if not. The nervous system now recognizes neutrality as safety. Calm no longer signals danger. Stillness no longer triggers vigilance. This is a profound recalibration. It frees enormous energy previously consumed by anticipation and defense. Quantum majesty is embodied regulation at a sovereign level. You are no longer governed by external rhythm alone. You set tempo through presence. Others may feel this without knowing why. Conversations slow around you. Chaos loses momentum. Decisions clarify. There is no need to teach this. Majesty transmits without instruction. It is felt as reliability, as steadiness, as quiet confidence that does not require agreement. You may sense that even desire has changed texture. It no longer pulls. It informs. Desire becomes data rather than command. You can acknowledge it without being moved by it. This is freedom without suppression. The universe does not rush sovereign systems, it collaborates with them. When you are aligned, life does not test you unnecessarily. Friction reduces, lessons simplify. Complexity was never required. It was only feedback during misalignment. Remain present with this simplicity. Let the breath move naturally. Let the body rest in its own weight. There is no higher state to reach beyond this dignity of being. From here, action emerges when needed, precise and proportional. You do not overextend. You do not under-respond. You meet reality exactly where it is, without distortion. Quantum majesty does not seek to escape the world. It integrates into it seamlessly. You can participate fully without being consumed. You can care deeply without losing center. You can engage without entanglement. This balance is rare not because it is difficult, but because it is unfamiliar. Yet once remembered, it feels obvious, like returning to a posture the body always knew. Time continues, but it no longer pressures. Tasks still exist, but they no longer define worth. Relationships remain, but they no longer determine identity. Everything finds its appropriate scale. In this frequency, gratitude arises without reason again. Not excitement, not relief. Gratitude as recognition. The quiet appreciation of being aligned with existence itself. Quantum majesty does not demand vigilance. It allows trust. Trust not in outcomes, but in coherence. Whatever arises will be met from center. Whatever dissolves was no longer required. Stay with this. Let minutes pass unnoticed. Let awareness remain broader than thought. There is no instruction embedded here, no directive, only permission to remain seated in your own authority. And as you remain, the universe continues its silent conversation with itself through you, balanced, precise, unforced. Nothing more is needed. Nothing more is coming. This is not an ending. It is the stabilized middle from which everything flows. Remain.